back.
Technical difficulties robbed us of that agonizing decision by Joel, but we're back now. Hooray!
All right. Yes. Okay. So, yes. So the vote so far, Will Ye, Joel abstaining. It's on to me to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the Metal Gear Solid 2 Colonel Freakout scene for top 5 unintentionally moments.
Do it this way. Come on, you have to do it. Look up. What's it gonna be?
As I look one last time at our lists. Yeah, let's give it a yes.
Oh, no way!
Let's do it. You know what? Let's do it.
Oh, baby. That should not have happened, but I love it.
You Heihachi'd in true fashion.
Yes.
Where was that on your list, though? What
I think that was my 4.
All right,
yes,
well,
number 4.
Good number 4.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, we have something we need you to do, Jelani.
Yes. What do you need me to do?
Give us that big, beautiful list!
All right. At number 5 is Get to the Chopper from Predator.
Yeah! Chopper now!
Number 4 is Dawn of the Dead's Baby Zombie. Squee! And then at number 3, from Skyrim, I was like you before I took an arrow to the knee. Number 2, from The Room, I did not hit her. I did not. And then from Metal Gear Solid 2, Colonel's Freakout, I need scissors.
61.
So serious with the 61.
Hell yeah. Ooh, good list, everyone.
Good list, everyone.
Good topic, too, Jelani. Way to go.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, I was like, I want to have a fun topic this week, and I thought this would be funny. Unintentionally funny, but funny. All right. So that was our top 5 unintentionally funny moments, pop contention there. Thank you so much for being here and sticking around. Hopefully the hiccup didn't cause anyone to leave us, but, you know, we're here. We're back again. We're going to go on a quick 10-minute break on an intermission real quick. We'll be right back in a little bit for Pop Aficionados, talk about some cool reviews and cool pop culture stuff. We'll be back in just a bit, and we'll see you in a bit. Tonight, we are doing a kind of trivia extravaganza in celebration of our 5-year anniversary here at the Pop Samurai Network.
The Nerdlywed Game. That's right, based on a very classic game show, which we cannot get the rights to, so I won't mention it here. We are going to ask questions of our contestants to see how well they know their other hosts. What is one fictional item that Jelani would most like to possess? You'll notice, Jelani, why don't you reveal what the answer is?
So I wrote down Batsuit.
Oh! I will say that I got it wrong. I wrote down Batmobile. Joel, what'd you get?
I wrote down Bat Utility Belt.
Oh my gosh. We're all in the right area. Okay. Joel's fictional job that he would most like to have. Jelani, what do you think it is?
I put down Gundam Pilot.
Ooh, I too put down Gundam Pilot. Joel, what is that job?
A raptor trainer.
I was this close to putting down what I scratched out before was dinosaur dude or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I was like
a fictional technology that I would most like to invent.
I like that. Like an idiot because I put the portal gun.
Oh, that's such a good answer. Jelani, what'd you come up with?
I put down lightsaber.
Well, now I feel like an ass because I crossed out lightsaber and wrote holodeck.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I don't know much, but I know that is an incredible technology.
This is a two-part little game that I call Joel's Familiar Places.
Okay.
And this is what is the most reoccurring franchise we speak of on Pop Samurai?
So many.
I know,
man.
but just think hard. Why don't we go with Jelani's at first here? Let's see what he has.
So what I got for you, I wrote down Jurassic Park is what I did.
All right. And Will, what did you write down?
I went with Pokemon.
I think you guys know the real answer to this one. Considering how much it came up in the last game show we just played, you damn well know it is Mass Effect.
Is it? Oh! Well,
I can guess. Remember, the official show lists were created by us three and all of our past hosts and guest hosts who've come on to the show, and so they can't guess what they think most likely would be on a list like this of all time. They have to guess what we think we would have put on that list and made it official. Right?
At the time.
Just one pick of what you think possibly made the list. Right?
All right.
Top 5 video game soundtracks.
Ooh.
What do you think made that list for us when we made them in the past?
Jeez. I wish I remembered when. Can you tell us when the list was made?
The date on this one is 8/9/18. Will, starting with you, what do you think made the list?
The game that I will always pick for an amazing soundtrack, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Oh.
Okay.
I think that one did make the list. I am going to go with Mario 64.
All right. Our big beautiful list for that topic was number 1, Mass Effect 2. Number 2, Bastion.
Oh,
number
Bastion's so good.
Number 3, Earthbound.
Earthbound.
Number 4, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh.
And number 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Let's go!
This is going through and remembering some. One question I didn't ask in the trivia thing, but I wanted to ask here for you guys is like, do you guys have a favorite memory of being on the show?
Ooh.
Like, I'll go first, so you guys buy you some time to think about it. But
Sure.
My favorite memory was actually doing the very first Dread with you guys, because it was the first. It was the first time we all got together and actually played like an RPG roleplay sesh. And I know like some of us were interested in it, some of us have never done it, and we were just like, let's do it, and we're just gonna do it on live. We're doing it live, and it was just a fun experience, like just having everybody just for the first time just jump into a game where we're just like, let's RP and let's just do it, you know. And so that was super fun.
I think my favorite time was, and yes, by the way, Dread was fantastic and cut too short, I would say. But my favorite time was when we did the Extra Life 24-hour stream, and Jelani was just holding down the fort and playing games straight through, and the rest of us were like popping in and bringing him like refreshments and trying to show up and take a couple hours here and there. And that was like such a fun team effort. And then we ended the night all at Jelani's house.
Yeah.
And that was just so much fun.
Yeah.
We were playing games together. We were doing VR, and oh man, so many good friends and good times.
Yeah, the best.
I was gonna say a couple of the times that we've played like VR live are definitely some of the more fun things that we've done too. Because I mean, just watching people's reactions is half of it. So it's like, you know, as the non-players, we're sitting back laughing and commenting on it, and the other person's either terrified or like overwhelmed or whatever it is, you know.
Goddamn, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Really tell me about it. Or even like as was mentioned in the previous show, the Joker,
Arkham VR.
reveal. Yeah, exactly. So that's those are all good memories, honestly. So
Okay,
I love that stuff, but
I can't-
definitely Dread was up there.
That I am going to review is a party game. It's one of my favorite party games. It's something that, especially looking back in the history of this group of friends and our humble beginnings at 42 Ale House and everything, is something near and dear to my heart. That is going to be the party game God Hates Charades. This is specifically the Tiny Little Wrath expansion. This is a very, very simple game, as it is a party game. You can basically play it with as many people as you want.
And number one is probably a game that most people are familiar with. This is a graded copy of Ni no Kuni, The Wrath of the White Witch.
Ooh, Ni no Kuni!
I adore this game, and for those who are unfamiliar with this is a 2013 game. I'm sorry, there's a bright light I got on here, but you can kind of see. 2013 game for PS3, originally published by Level 5 in Japan and Bandai Namco in the United States.
Excuse me.
And co-produced with, guess what? Studio Ghibli. Object number one and object number two, I am going to pull out of my bag right now. Whoop, magic hat. Oh, that is a Star Wars 12 back Luke Skywalker from 1977.
Wow.
Completely sealed and perfect. I don't have this one graded. I already sold my double telescoping Luke a while ago, but I did keep a normal farm boy Luke with blonde hair. So the reason these are important is because these were the first production run. All right, we're here. Rapid 5 is here, boys. Let's do this. Starting with Jelani, question number one. Are you ready for this? It's coming at you fast. Would you rather have a machine gun arm or legs, which are katanas? Think about slipping around and not being able to go in banks.
I would, if I could, I would have a machine gun arm.
Hell yeah.
All right. I guess you could hide it under a coat, but katana feet, you're still just like, it's like being on ice skates constantly, right?
Ting, ting, ting,
I think you'd get really good at it, though, and then that would be scary.
Ting, 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 ting.
All right. Over to Will. Question number one.
Yes.
Would you rather have a dog's face or a ridiculously big ass?
I want that junk in the trunk, my man. Give me the badonkadonk. I kind of want both of these, though, because dogs are adorable. But I feel like if I have both, I'm going to be one weird-looking son of a bitch. So
Exactly.
I think I'll stick with the bootylicious.
The ridiculously big ass. Okay.
Yeah.
The
redonkadonk.
Jelani, what is your ideal taco?
Ooh, okay. So the perfect taco for me is corn tortilla. The meat of my choice is what's called lengua, which is the cow tongue.
Yep.
Bad
meat.
lengua.
Lengua is really it's amazing for me. I love that onion, cilantro, and I enjoy a salsa verde, which is like a green
I was just gonna
sauce
say.
on that as well. Little lime, little salt. That's it.
The tomatillo, right? Yeah.
Straightforward, tomatillo sauce. Straightforward, amazing. I love it so much. That's my favorite taco.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. I love it. I would say pulled pork instead of that, but all right, I'm down. I'll try it one of these days. The tongue thing always just kind of has me weird, but you know what? I'll try it.
Dude, it's just a muscle.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'm using these questions to find out what I should eat, right?
You should definitely
So
try
speaking of that, Will, question number 2. Is it a sandwich? Scotch egg.
Ooh, I'm so happy you asked this now because I just recently had a Scotch egg a couple months ago. I think right before quarantine, actually.
Did you guys make them?
I had my
Okay.
first Scotch egg.
Real quick, what's a Scotch egg?
So
it
it's
is- Go ahead.
yeah. So it's like shoot. How do I say that? It's kind of
It's a breaded meat shell with an egg in between.
yeah,
And
with
it's,
a hard-boiled egg in between.
Yeah. It doesn't have to necessarily be hard boiled, but you can get it so that it's like the creamy type of like almost a little bit runny on the inside. If you cook it right, it should be a little bit runny on the inside.
Okay.
Think
Is
about
it a sandwich?
Hand, breading, also 2 forms of protein.
Oh man, I don't know that I would ever hold it as a sandwich. But that doesn't mean it couldn't be held as a sandwich. Like, I could see someone taking it. So, I mean, my big criteria are always, does it come in layers? Does it have some sort of either a protein or a carbohydrate? And is it portable? And I think this checks all those boxes.
I keep them in my pocket. Yes, it's portable.
Would you like a Scotch egg?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? If someone handed me a Scotch egg, hopefully in like a napkin, yeah, like I don't want them to just give it to me. But if they handed it to me in a napkin, I'd probably walk around with a Scotch egg eating it.
All right.
What the hell? I'll say yes.
Ooh, we got it. We got one.
I
got one.
think a Scotch egg can be a sandwich.
Nice. All right. Well, didn't trick you. You didn't. I don't know if it's tricking you, but yeah, I guess I got you good.
It always feels good to get closer to sandwich nirvana.
Sandwich devil. Yeah. All right. Back over to Jelani. Superpower.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for sticking around and waiting for us to come back. We appreciate it. This is Pop Aficionados, your one-stop shop for a group of friends spitting that hot fire and talking about cool pop culture things. We're gonna have some fun here tonight. Once again, I'm your boy Jelani Hoon, along with Critical Joel Paprocki's here with us, and Will Walkie Washington's here.
Yeah.
Concerned citizen.
Yeah. Who are you?
All right.
Who am I?
Yes. Thank you so much for waiting and joining us again. We're going to go through and just have some fun. Let's do this. I want to hear what everybody's been up to this week, what everybody's been watching or playing or doing. Will, let's start with you. What you been watching, playing, or doing?
What haven't I been watching, playing, or doing? That's the real question.
Oh.
Just kidding. That's not the real question at all. One thing I didn't do much. I'll be honest. Most of the stuff I did was stuff I've already been doing. So not a lot of news. There is one thing that I did. I made up for an omission in my movie history. I watched for the first time The Neverending Story.
Whoa!
Yes, indeed.
What did you think of that?
As I admitted earlier in the chat, movies are kind of my blind spot. I've never really been a huge movie buff. They keep me around because I know tabletop games. I watched The Neverending Story and I thought it was solidly okay.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought, wow, these effects are really good for 1984.
Oh yeah.
That's the Henson Company, right?
I believe Henson had a lot to do with it, yeah. There were some weird things. I mean, Atreyu wandering around in this very, like, Native American-looking garb, and he's this little white boy who's showing too much chest throughout the entire movie, was weird. And just, like, it was weirdly heavy for a children's movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously the swamp scene and just like, man, it was good actually. It felt like a very adult kids movie. Like there was something for everybody to watch there.
Permanent soft focus feels very much like a dream.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought that there were things that I was expecting from it, like that I found out weren't the case. Like afterwards, I went and IMDb'd it and realized that the actor who plays Atreyu is not the same actor that plays Bastian. And I thought that was like the hook, is that that's him in the story. But it turned out that they're just very similar looking. I actually thought that the dragon's name.
It starts with an F.
Yeah. Falcor.
Falcor, that's it. I know. Why couldn't you get that?
I thought that he was actually the guy from the bookstore. I thought that was his voice, and that was who he was modeled after. Not at all. Totally different people. So I thought they were doing like that parallelism between reality and the story that they weren't. So I was just looking for things to latch onto, I guess. Falcor is the weirdest looking thing of all time, and every time he winked, it gave me it just skeeved me out. And he's just like, "Ooh, I'm a luck dragon. I'm just here." And you're like, "Why are you here?" "'Cause luck. That's why." Ha ha! God damn it! This movie is so dumb, but it's also cool.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like an instant favorite for me. Like, I'll still take Princess Bride any day over this. But I didn't grow up with it. And I know a lot of it is nostalgia. And I did enjoy it. It's just not ever going to be my favorite movie, I don't think.
I know this kind of fits into that category of nostalgia, but I would just say that it's like, you know, if you were to watch that during the period of when it came out,
oh God, it'd blow your mind.
Fantastic. Yeah,
I
exactly.
thought the effects were really impressive even today. I'm looking at this and I'm like, why was everyone so hyped about Star Wars? Like, the effects in this are incredible.
Oh yeah.
It's just that some of the puppets happen to be really creepy looking. But other than that, like, seriously, very impressive.
That's one of the things about like those classic kid movies.
Yeah.
A lot of the effects really hold up. Right?
Yeah.
And when you look at something like that is today's standards, where they use heavy CGI and things like that, a lot of the stuff kind of gets outdated after a while, you know? And like the older stuff where they use practical things, and I really wish we would see more practical things happen, they just still hold up no matter what. It's like, that looks really good, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It was surprising to me as well, but like, yeah, the effects were definitely a high point. I think there was just a lot of like meandering in the story, and they intended it to be so epic that it almost couldn't even fulfill its own like set destiny there. But
exactly.
But like still very enjoyable. Glad I finally got around to watching it. I know, shame on me for, making it to 30 years old and never seeing the Neverending Story, but now I have fixed that. And so that's like my big thing that I did. That's really the only thing that makes a huge difference. I will say I also started The Unsleeping City.
Oh, did you?
Yes, wow. Dimension 20. So
20?
that is going to be fun. I can already tell it's just a blasty blast. Everything that they do is so upsettingly wholesome, and I think that's just because of Brennan, and like he goes in there and he just like from the first die roll is like therapizing his players. The character of Kingston.
Oh my god, Kingston is so good.
Is just, oh my god, I have a crush on him, and I've only watched one episode, and I'm already into it.
I absolutely love all of those Dimension 20 roleplay seasons. Sleeping City is very unique with it being like the New York fantasy style. And introducing to the characters. I like it a lot. Did you finish the Escape from the Bloodkeep?
Yes, I did. Very good. That's definitely, like, as far as a side quest goes, that's got to be the best side quest. As much as I did love Tiny Heist. Escape from the Bloodkeep was dope. Actually, I also started listening to My Brother and Me a little bit this week. Good show. While I was running. Pretty fun show. Inspired, obviously, because I watched Tiny Heist. Those guys are silly bitches, let me tell you.
Very good stuff. If you want a good, also another good D&D thing that they do, the Adventure Zone that they do, their first campaign was amazing.
I'll check it out. I have so much to do, but
but if you're looking for something to do, cool stuff. Anything else? That's
it. I know I said I didn't do much, and then I just realized I started a whole bunch of new stuff. So
I should note that now, Jelani, we have a third person that if they come back to town and we're allowed to go see things again, if we're allowed to do things, we know that Will will be in on that one. Their live shows are really fun, so that was cool.
See,
totally blown away. I did not expect it.
Really?
I was a big fan of my brother, me in the Adventure Zone, and so I had an extra ticket. And I was like, Joe, let's go to see this live podcast, and it was just
I don't know what that is. Like, I knew what a podcast was. I don't know who they were though.
I was like, it's just gonna be fun. Don't worry about it. Let's go. And then we went and just had a blast.
It's gonna be fine. Just get in the car.
Yeah.
Listen,
I've got candy.
We went. I wined and dined Joel the whole night. It was all good.
Exactly.
It was a fun night.
You guys.
Yeah. All right. I'll jump over to me real quick because I've also done not that much either. Big things. I started watching season 2 of The Boys. It is very good. I still think that the Boys TV show is very high quality. Writing is really well done. So if you like the first season of it, it continues on very strong throughout it. Again, they're only like 6 episodes in. I was trying to hold off until like they were done, but I just I need to watch it. I keep seeing like spoilers, and I was like, God, I should watch it before I get spoiled. So I just jumped in and watched the first 5 episodes. Really good stuff. Really cool.
What do you think about it coming out week by week, like simulcast? Is it something where you're champing at the bit to see the next one, or is it okay that they're separated? Like, it's tiny binge right now. So,
it's a tiny binge right now.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I could watch them all at once, but I understand why they're doing it week by week. But if I was watching this week by week with like a group of friends and I could talk about it with them after each episode every week, I think it would work out really well. But because the things I watch I save for the show, and I don't always just like coordinate with everybody to watch it, I think that's probably what's throwing me off about it. Because if I wanted to just binge something, I'd binge it all, talk about it real quick, and then just like, that's all good, you know?
Yeah.
But week to week thing, you kind of want to discuss it throughout the week for that episode, and then talk about it, watch it the next week with a friend or something like that, or at the same time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think it's good. It has its ups and downs for both, you know? So
right on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Watch that. I've been strange. I've always had like a fascination with like magic and just like, you know, stage magic and things like that. So I've been for some reason watching Penn and Teller's Fool Us for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Those guys are so funny.
Penn and Teller are my favorite magicians, and I love all their stuff. So I've just been binge watching some of the old seasons. And I was like, this is really good stuff.
Awesome.
Besides that, I jumped into my Animal Crossing world for a little bit. It's fun. See my world completely covered in cockroaches. But I recovered and got everything back in order. And jumping onto that, me and Will played Castle Crashers this weekend. We jumped in for we're gonna play for a little bit, and then ended up, I don't know, going for the entire game.
We kind of accidentally just beat the game start to finish.
It's the good stuff, and I still kind of like, I want to go back and unlock more characters.
I want to go back and keep leveling up what we've got. By the end of it, like I went full magic, Jelani went full strength, and so it was. That's always the best way to play, in my opinion, is just like fulfill different niches on the team. We'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Did they ever end up making a new rendition of that, or that team ever say they're going to do more with that series or anything like that?
No, and we were commiserating about that, where we wish they would come out with a second one.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's been quite a while, but it's like
the next thing they went and did was Pit People, which we played that one time. So
or Battle Block Theater too, right? They also did that one.
They did Battle Block. Yep. Yeah,
so like it's one of those. They were one of those developers who's like, we're gonna nail something and move on to the next thing. Nail something, move on to the next thing. And I think that's a cool thing for them to do.
Sure.
Yeah, the behemoth. That's what they're.
That's what they are. Big chicken.
I downloaded a game called Bug Fables. I talked about it a little while ago, but Bug Fables is a game that is very much Paper Mario with bugs. I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You mentioned that was on your radar.
Yes,
Looks good.
because Will was telling me that the new Paper Mario wasn't all that, and they changed the system up. I was very disappointed with that, so I jumped into this to see if I can get that feeling back, and it is very much Paper Mario. So the system is classic, like the classic. You have to do a different thing with each character to have them hit more or defend and things like that. So it's really good. It's just adorable because it's bugs, and they have like an adorable little story, and the animation is really fun. So I like it so far. I'm only at the beginning right now, so hopefully I get deeper into it soon. But yeah, that's all I got on my radar. So Joe, let's hop over to you.
All right. Well, number one, we got the what is it called? The Super Mario All Stars. Well, Amy at least got it.
The 3D All Stars.
I'm sorry.
3D All Stars.
Yeah. And so we initially jumped into Mario 64. We got like 15 stars, and then she was liking that, but she's like, all right, let's try some of the other ones. So she played a little bit of the other ones, which is Mario Sunshine and Galaxy, which are both really fun. But then I was like, give it here. And now 2.5 days later, I'm at 74 stars in Mario 64. It doesn't take that long if you know where everything is. But it's like, I don't know. There's something about that game, regardless of nostalgia, that it's just like, that is a very well-made game.
Hell yeah.
Only thing I have to complain about, at least on the adaptation of it, it seems like the camera is a little finicky, but I remember it being troublesome in the original as well. But yeah, that game is still awesome, and it's pretty as hell, and it doesn't need even better graphics. Like, Mario looks better as you keep going in the newer generations of them, but honestly, at that point, it was like already a blast, so it looks fantastic the way it was. So I'm loving that, still playing that. I'll probably try to go for all the stars and go talk to Yoshi. Nice. But then the most notable thing that I had done was a movie that took me 2 days to watch because it is 2.6 hours long. Yeah, that's a long movie. But this is something that I'm excited to hear if Jelani has seen, and I don't know if he has or not. And if I missed him talking about this one ever, I feel bad because this is a fantastic film that if people out there kind of like more slow burn thriller, almost horror, it is the South Korean movie 2016, The Wailing.
Oh, 2016's The Wailing.
Okay. You're familiar with that one, and you haven't seen it though?
I am familiar with it. I have not watched it all the way through. I haven't gotten around to finishing it.
Okay. Well, this movie is fantastic, and I'll try to be as brief as possible here. But basically, this is like a story of like an infestation of like a I don't know what they kind of call it there. Like an island, mysterious killings due to like an illness, basically that's going around town. So people kind of get zombified, but not really. And since it's a small town in South Korea, there's like a lot of superstition. And the policeman that we follow throughout the story is like refuting that as trying to be like, no, that stuff doesn't exist. Like, just go to doctors, deal with that way, like science and whatnot. But basically, all of that is kind of secondary, and what the overarching like scary part of it comes from more of the. And I will say that you're going back and forth the whole time throughout the movie, wondering, is it actually supernatural or is it just some like people just getting out of their minds and stuff like that? And that is the whole thing where it twists back and forth numerous times, and it really gets you good for the first viewing. I would love to watch this film again a second time because there's probably a lot of things I did not catch the first time around. It is a slow burn where it's very atmospheric, and it is absolutely gorgeous and well produced. And I have to say, this has to be one of my. It almost reminds me of a ghost story, even though it may not necessarily be that. It as a telling of that type of story, it is fantastic, and I don't know if I've seen that good of a movie out of Western films, in the past couple of years. I've mentioned a few on the show, like Black Coat's Daughter and things like that, which are very good as well. But this one just has a special place, I think. And I know that this is on Amazon Prime right now, so you can watch it for free if you want to get in the mood for the spoopy Halloween stuff that's coming up. As I usually do as we get towards the season, and it's like I just kind of dive into that stuff and try to set the mood. I don't know why, it's just fun. And this was a good one because it's like it's not overbearing with regard to like scary gruesomeness. Although there are some like tantalizing scenes, it's not that gets you. It's still all in the mind that gets you. And I love psychological stuff like that. And I think that pays bigger dividends than films that just sometimes portray it for you outright. Like Godzilla movies and things like that. Yes, we want to see it on screen, and that's what we're there to see. But with something like this, I think like I said, it's worth it for your brain to give you the scariest thing as opposed to them giving it to you. So, and in that light, it's like, think that it'll affect people differently. So I like that. And I'd love for you to tell me if you eventually get to watch it, what you thought of it. And Will, by all means, you can check it out too. I'd be happy to hear. Because I think this one appeals a little bit more to broader audiences because it's not just like a Jason slasher movie, so it's more of a foreboding type of ride. So yeah, that's what I ended up watching. That, like I said, long movie. If you can split it into two, go ahead. If you got the time and the patience to sit through a long film, it will pay off, I promise you. So that's what I've been up to.
Very nice.
Oh, right. Cool. All right. And that's all. That's what we've been watching, what we've been doing. Let's move over to our segments. Let's start off with, I want to hear a board game review.
Ooh.
Okay, let's do that.
I will make that happen.
He's got Dyson cards and Dyson cards. It's Will's board game review.
Oh, boy. Hi, everyone. So this week, I am going to be reviewing the board game Junta Las Cartas. This is a game that was published in 2016 by Alderac Entertainment Group. It is for 3 to 6 players, 45 to 60 minute runtime, recommended age 12 plus. Not a very weighty game, designed by Johannes Krenner, Christoph Reiser, and Sebastian Reisel. This is actually an adaptation of an earlier game known as Junta Viva el Presidente. In that game was a little bit more involved. This game is supposed to be a simplified reskinning of that using just cards. Junta answers the question, what if me and all my friends seated at this table were in a bloody conflict to become the dictator of a tropical island and steal a bunch of foreign aid and try to line our pockets and silence dissidents. It all sounds very fun, I know, but there's serious things to be accomplished with this game because as the president, what you are in charge of doing is taking in money as it comes into your administration and very strategically dispersing it, distributing it to everyone around the table. You give your friends more money, you give people you don't like as much less money, you give yourself the most money. Eventually, whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins. That sounds all hunky-dory, but what you forget is that there are revolutionaries among your friends who will try to rise up in a bloody coup to unseat you from the throne and become the new president, and then they control the money. So basically, this is a game of trying to curry favor with your friends and spread your influence and try not to get killed and bank as much money as possible. At the same time, it is a game of subterfuge and trying to wheel and deal and knock out the president and seize power for yourself. Like I said, it's a very not difficult game. But you'll see sort of on the back here, you've got all sorts of different cards with all sorts of different powers and rebels and the president himself and money. And the idea, like I said, is just to slowly accumulate wealth until you are the wealthiest player around the board. Very simple, very quick play, very small footprint on this box, as you can see. I like it for its simplicity. I actually think thematically it's really funny because you're this like evil despot dictator, but like it's very cartoony and dorky. You got the like the big silly nose, and you're this kind of like tiny fat dude that's running around, and they've got like the old timey like Acme bowling ball bombs getting thrown around.
Yeah.
One of those things where if the art was taking it seriously, this could be kind of a tasteless game, but the way they present it saves the whole thing and makes it just ridiculous and fun. For the speed in which you can play this game, and for its simplicity and for its theme, I really like it. I don't think there's a massive amount of replay value here. I think you'll play it a couple times and then you'll move on. I've played this game a handful of times, and as you can see, this is the copy that I took home, and I haven't really gotten it to the table. In fact, I auctioned it off this week, and I'm going to be selling it on Saturday. So that should tell you something. I like it. I just don't love it. I'm going to give this a 5.5 out of 10. Junta las Cartas. Check it out. You should be able to find it relatively cheap. I see you can find it for just under $20 on eBay. I sold it for considerably less than that. So, check it out if you can find a copy.
Johnny, hit it.
Very cool. Very cool. Good stuff, man. All right. And that was... He's got Dyson cards and Dyson cards. That was Will's 4-game review.
Yeah!
All right. Let's head over. I'm going to get my international review out of the way then, if that's what we're working on here. So, today on Jelani's international review, I'm talking about the 2013 movie Journey to the West, Conquering the Demons. It is a movie that is kind of like a comedy, martial arts comedy, if you will. It is written and directed by Stephen Chow, who, if you guys don't know who that is, the actor, director, and writer of Kung Fu Hustle, Shaolin Soccer. So amazingly funny and creative guy. And so he wrote and directed this movie. It is kind of loosely based on the Journey to the West 16th century Chinese folklore. And it follows this Buddhist monk who is trying to become a hero and stop these demons that are plaguing like the land. And it is very funny, very much in that same vein of like the Kung Fu Hustle type of funny. So a lot of slapstick funniness with it. Really funny creature designs with this. It's still kind of like a creepy creature design, but still really great. And I think it's just one of those movies that like you can get together, you can watch. Has some really great a great cast with it, and just really enjoy the funniness of it and the silliness of it at the same time. So I think get out there. Check it out if you guys can. It's available to watch on Amazon Prime, I think, or at least to rent if it's not there for subscription. But you can check it out there. It's it's just one of those films that I'm a big fan of Stephen Chow. I like Kung Fu Hustle, I like Shaolin Soccer, and he's been doing a lot of these types of films lately where it deals with like creatures and just like fantasy, funny, comical movies like this. So I think this is one of his better ones. I really enjoy it. So I'm gonna give this one on our Pop Samurai scale out of 10. Give this a 8 out of 10.
Oh man, gotta watch it at that score.
It's a fun film. If you just like accept it as like a silly film, like Kung Fu Hustle or Shaolin Soccer, you'll be fine with it. Don't go in expecting something else. This is exactly what he. Stephen Chow knows his lane and he like works it very well. It's like we're gonna be silly, we're gonna be slapstick, we're gonna be this. So I like that a lot. So it's really good. So check it out, guys.
Right. Excellent.
Okay, so that was my quick international review. There, we're gonna head over to
Joel and Tell. Joel and Tell. Joel and Tell.
All right, boys. Thank you. All right. Let me kick this off by saying I am going to show you some oddities from the yesteryears in video games. I am going to show you, first and foremost, a game from 1985, which came out on the NES, made by Sunsoft, which may sound familiar to some of you guys out there. They've developed a lot of older games which have kind of a cult standing nowadays, such as Blaster Master and a few other racing games and things like that. But this one is a very weird game. This is called Ikki, Aikki. And what this is basically a game that's about the traditional farmers' rebellion in Japan.
Oh, man.
And this is a very weird game, and I've played it before, and I love it. It's actually pretty fun and has outstanding graphics for 1985 on the NES. But basically, yeah, it
sorry, that's an NES cartridge?
Oh, I'm sorry, this is a Famicom cartridge.
I was going to say, I didn't know, but I would have been incredulous if that fit in an NES.
Yeah, so, there's all the Japanese text all over it. But, yeah, if you have an adapter, or like me, you have a Famicom because you're a dork, then you can play this. But, yeah, so I think they might have had a U.S. release for this one, though. I'm not entirely sure about that. I'll have to double-check that. But regardless, this is an interesting game because I was rewatching some gameplay about it recently, and people in the chat were like, so what's the point of this game? Why are the ninjas everywhere trying to attack the farmer? And basically, as I said before, the title is Farmer's Rebellion. And so what it is it takes place during feudal Japan era. Basically, you as farmers are starting to revolt against the current government, and the shogun is sending out ninjas to fight back against you. But it's funny because you're in the farm fields, and you're wandering around kind of like a top-down third-person type perspective, I guess. And you're basically throwing boomerangs at ninjas who are tossing shurikens at you. And it is a beautifully made game. Honestly, if you take a look at some of the screen captures for this one, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that it's a very colorful, vibrant, and has a lot of detail. But again, the people in the chat, and same with myself, are all wondering, why are they, what's going on here? Because they really do not give you any story as you just jump into the fighting and whatever. And it's just like, nope, you're right into the Farmer's Rebellion. Here you are, you're the farmer. And basically this guy just throws boomerangs at the ninjas. So it's just really funny. But there's numerous levels, and they all take on different color palettes and different textures and things like that. So it's actually pretty darn impressive. And I think the boomerang, by the way, is not actually a boomerang, but a scythe. So it's kind of actually a little bit darker than it seems. But you gather gold, you fight ghosts and a lot of traditional mythological creatures. And then you have to unlock prisoners and stuff. So basically, this is like Baby Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is you've got a cheap Ghost of Tsushima right there.
Yeah. So, but it's a fun little version. I think they might have remade it. It came out on phones and a couple other versions. I thought brought it to a new version of it somewhere. I'll have to look it up, but I know there was a not 3D like Link's Awakening, but something where they updated the graphics for it and somewhere out there. I don't know if it ever came out in the US. So, but yeah, this is a really weird little game, and it's a 1 to 2 player as well, but it's always, I think, one person at a time. So that's Ikki. That is nice. A weird one. Now for oddity number 2, which I would be surprised if you guys have heard of this one as well.
Oh boy.
Not to be condescending, but we love our Street Fighter and fighter games here, but this is one of the godfathers of fighting games. This is called Yi Ar Kung Fu. Now, this did come out on multiple platforms and was actually an arcade game from 1985. And basically, the only other fighter that had the modern-day look before this was Karate Champ. But that and this together pretty much laid the groundwork for what Street Fighter, the original, was to become, and then everything subsequent from there. This one only had 3 playable characters. And it was a very limited, 2D fighter where you had life bars and then you had some special moves. They were not very complex at all. But they had different difficulties. So as you would move up in the different like fight to fight, it would just get like exponentially harder because games back then did not mess around. But yeah, this is a really weird one because this is made by Konami. And what you're seeing here is not a Famicom game, but an MSX game, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one.
Nope.
The MSX was, I think that was, let me look up games. I forgot who made that, if it was Casio or not.
While you're looking that up, I just want to point out on the cover there, like this guy looks like he's gonna drop some awesome kick right in my face, like in the viewer's face. But there's also the dude with the chain comma that's about to just cut him off at the legs. Like this dude is about to get epically like flamingoed.
So, just to fill back in on what MSX was, basically that was just a formatting, a standardized home computer architecture. So there was a variety of companies that actually produced the series here. So Sony Corporation had one, Pioneer had one, and another thing called More. But the only one that people probably are familiar with from the MSX is actually the Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which is the first rendition of Solid Snake that before we got to Metal Gear Solid. Mm-hmm. So there was Metal Gear 1 that we probably all played on NES. And then there was Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which came out for the MSX. And then we got to the PlayStation 1 some 10 years later after that. But yeah, this one, again, if you take a look at some screen captures of this game, it is actually quite beautiful. And I cannot emphasize enough that even if you look in on the Street Fighter, not Super Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2 or any of those, if you look at Street Fighter, like the wiki for it, you will find that they reference this as influence for their game and how they developed it. So they just capitalized on the idea and developed it more, made more characters and, different styling. But yeah, it's just a very fun little game. And yes, again, there is some beautiful artwork which gives kids imagery when the graphics themselves really couldn't give you exactly that. It's like, but I feel like I'm doing that. So yeah, that's two that I have for today. Some weird little oddities from the yesteryears.
Awesome.
Oh, that was
Joel and Tell. Joel and Tell. Joel and Tell.
Good.
Thank you, boys.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Moving right along here. We're gonna go over to Will. Will, do we have any cool consumer advice?
Yes, we do. Thank you very much for asking.
I blanked on it so hard. I was like, wait, what is it called?
So this week, all the consumer advice is going to be PC driven. Sorry to let you down if you do not have a PC. That is okay. But Master Race. I'm just kidding. I would never say that unironically because, come on. But everything's coming from the Epic Game Store since it is so close to the end of the month. PS Plus and Xbox Games with Gold are just holding pat. So the things I want to call out: Epic Game Store, the excellent Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is free to play, free to download, free to own this week. And also, the big news is Rocket League went free to play this week for everyone. You can get that on Steam, you can get that on Xbox, you can get it on PlayStation, you can get it at Epic Game Store. The key is if you get it at Epic Game Store, they will also give you a $10 coupon off your next purchase, $14.99 or more. So they're actually paying you to get Rocket League on the Epic Game Store, and I think that is just lovely. So be sure to go out there, grab those. Rocket League is a masterpiece. I've sank so many hours into that game. So check it out, and I'll see you on there. And that's it for consumer advice.
Very cool. Let's go over to some trailer talk. I want to talk about some cool trailers that are out there if we can. Joel, take it away.
Sure. All right. I think we should dive into the most important one as quickly as possible because the other ones kind of fall secondary to this. So we got a new Marvel trailer. And I was not expecting this one to even be close to being released because I don't know if back in theaters anytime soon. But this is not a theater movie. That's why, because this is a show, to my knowledge, right, Jelani, that is on Disney Plus. So this is WandaVision, and you're going to have to fill me in. Is there any basis for this elsewhere in the comic universe? Because I totally must have missed that at some point.
So this is playing off a lot. Yeah, this is playing off on a lot of different things in comics. So they never, in the MCU, they've never really explained Wanda Maximoff's actual powers, really, right?
Yeah.
We kind of know a little bit from when she was messing with people's minds in Age of Ultron. We kind of know from her psychic abilities throughout the series. We don't really know exactly how it's laid out with her powers, right? So in the comic books, that's the same exact thing happened. They didn't know how to lay out her powers, and there was a couple moments where she has kind of reality altering kind of like powers. And this is a moment where it's possible they're playing off like the House of M storyline, where she completely changes up everything in reality to kind of suit and give everybody kind of like what they want. And so what she wants obviously is Vision, and a life with Vision. So like, we don't know if this is exactly what it's going for, but there have been moments in comic books that they played with that. And so watching this, I was very blown away because it looks of a quality of like of an MCU movie, which is really great. It's hitting the quality of that. I'm liking that a lot. So as long as it's hitting the look and the quality of that, I'm excited for it. And it's our biggest piece of post Endgame MCU since Spider-Man Far From Home. So I'm excited for it. It looks great. I'm wondering, there's a lot of mystery of like how Vision's back, what's happening in the world. Is Wanda affecting it, or is someone else affecting it? And so they're playing off of that in the comic books for the fans, but then also playing it for people who are just fans of the MCU. I don't know. What did anybody else think?
Well, I mean, I caught on that it's like they are witnessing things that don't seem to be the way that they are. So they're like stuck in either a false reality or someone else's consciousness or something like that. Maybe it's like in the Mind Stone. I don't know, so something weird like that's going on. But I did love not only the like 1950s style TV show where they're like totally living the proper lifestyle of
the
this
American
perfect
dream.
couple, or like the odd couple, I guess you'd call them. And they're even like very aware that this seems odd. And then the other thing that I really pulled from it was the original Vision costume. I loved that. Him wearing it as like a Halloween costume.
Well, they had the original Scarlet Witch costume make an appearance too. So they're both there, and they look just as campy as you want them to.
Yeah, I love it. So, I feel like with all the seriousness that we got from Endgame and whatnot, to give us something that is also like humorous as well as like, wait a minute, something's off, and make you think a little bit, that's fun. And I don't know the exact audience of this one. I don't think it's necessarily kids though.
No.
So that's cool.
I'm very interested in this. I'm very interested to see how this affects mainline MCU,
Yeah.
So
Will, they
saw,
always right? Yes, I did see it. Drawing off of like what they did for the Netflix series and for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they might allude to it, but I think Marvel is very careful not to let their shows influence the movies. It's got to be the other way around. So we might see a little bit of this popping up, but I wouldn't expect to see excuse me. I wouldn't expect to see anything like straight up affecting the MCU from the show. Sometimes we've seen characters come from the shows up into the movies, but it's pretty few and far between. So ultimately, be ready for this to mostly exist in a vacuum, which would play into it all being kind of like a fever dream or whatever anyway. One thing I know I'm looking forward to, and this wasn't in the trailer, I just read about it, but we're getting Randall Park back in as Agent Jimmy Woo. He was hilarious in Ant-Man and the Wasp. I love that actor, so I can't wait for more. And just like, some of the cameos sound really good. I think it's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be so weird. And I don't terribly like the Scarlet Witch as a character, especially in the MCU. She feels kind of shoehorned in. I mean, she came in the worst movie of all of them, which was Age of Ultron. That was kind of a throwaway film. We've bemoaned it a lot on this show. But you know what? I'm going to be watching. It's going to be... I'm sure it's going to be good.
I'm excited.
The question is... At least the question in my mind is, how's it going to hold up to the Netflix Marvel movies, Marvel shows, which I thought were masterpieces top to bottom. Yeah. This is their first foray in a while into TV that doesn't include Netflix. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
But I'm going to be critical of it for that reason. I'm going to be watching with a very close eye.
All right,
cool. Well, then let's jump along. Just really quick, make some mention of a few other trailers. There was the new Truth Seekers trailer, which I think dropped just the other day, at least from what I saw. I may be wrong, but it seems like it was a new one. And if you haven't heard about that one, Will, I think, was the one who gave a little bit of background on that one previously. Or maybe it was Jelani. I'm sorry if it was. But basically, all of us would love to see this. This is awesome. And it is made by not Frost. Simon Pegg himself, but Adam, what's his name? Frost?
Nick Frost.
Nick Frost, that's it, not Adam. And he is, just a ghost hunter. This one looks hilarious. You get much more of an idea of what they're doing in this. So I think if you haven't seen it, go take a look at that one.
I can't wait for this show. I'm so excited.
And then, I know. And then we've got another superhero movie, which is called Mortal. I don't know if you guys got to see this one, or Jelani, I don't know if you got to particularly.
What is it called?
Mortal?
No, I didn't see this one, I'm sorry.
This is a reluctant superhero that is kind of the only one that's out there that we're aware of that has powers. And he can, burn things, he can use electricity, he can, influence his surroundings and stuff like that. And guess what? Somebody's after him. So it's kind of generic, but honestly, the production looked like it was pretty high. I don't know what to make of it at this point. Give it a watch. Let us know what you think in the chat. I'd be curious to hear if anybody else knows anything more about this one, or if it's based on something that I'm unaware of. Then two horror movies that we're kind of stepping towards. One of them is a movie, and the other one is a TV show. We have Books of Blood, which is Clive Barker-based material that I think was coming to Hulu. And that one is a variety of stories that are centered around just odd happenings, essentially. But if you like Clive Barker stuff, this one's worth checking out. And then we have a movie called The Call, which is who's the guy from Saw, the bad guy, the actor. He's in this, and basically him and his wife are picked on annually by a bunch of smart-ass kids, but the wife ends up hanging herself or something, and she leaves a will saying she wants these kids to come back, and they'll pay out $100,000 if they just talk on this one old phone for an hour. And basically, you just have to survive that, and then you're fine. So of course they all do it. But as we find out, there's something weird about the phone, and something terrifying starts to happen.
It's a rotary phone. No one knows how to use it.
Exactly.
It's the ultimate horror.
Help. So obviously it's a little cliche. But as we head into the Halloween season, I think we're going to be seeing more and more of these start to drop. So this is just the beginning of it. Just thought I'd put them out there, as I mentioned, for if people are looking forward to something to watch, go take a look at that trailer. So that's what I've got. John, you got any others?
All right. So for me, the only other one that I probably should talk about real quick is Netflix dropped the trailer for The Haunting of Bly Manor, I think it is, which is the sequel season to The Haunting of Hill House. a wonderful series that released on Netflix that was a kind of ghost haunted house story, but they really did like it was high production. They built like a whole house set, and they showed off in this new trailer a new house that they looks like they've built up, and that they're shooting like the series in, and it looks really great. There was a lot of like talk and like a lot of cool acclaim for the last season, and like of all the cool Easter eggs and the hauntings and the like the creepy stuff that would happen. So it's is much anticipated for people who are a fan of horror and ghost stories and things like that. So keep a lookout for that. Lots of horror stuff dropping in cool Spooktober coming up. So good stuff. All right.
I think that's all we've got though for trailers. So
cool. All right, moving over to one of our final segments here, which is just what's releasing here. I'll drop it out real quick for you guys. If you guys are looking for something cool to watch or play this weekend, things dropping out there for people to play. Switch, Kirby Fighters 2 is dropping out there. So if you're looking to battle some Kirbys, by all means, dropping that there. Besides that, for games, you guys will pick up Mafia, the Definitive Edition is dropping out there soon. I believe this weekend for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Stadia and PC. So if you're a fan of the Mafia games from back in the day, they remastered everything, bringing it back. So fun. And Spelunky 2. If you like the first Spelunky game, the roguelikes, it's a fun little series right there for you to pick up right there. Over on the Netflix shows, things that are dropping out there for streaming. If you guys get a chance, I love this show, The Chef Show, which is kind of based off of the movie Chef by Jon Favreau. This is a show where he goes off with the chef who helped him in that show, and they cook and visit other restaurants. New season just dropped, so good stuff. Check that out. Double All the Time dropped out there as well, and so we got some cool stuff coming down the line. Lots of spooky stuff dropping up, coming up this weekend and next week, especially once we hit into October. So keep an eye out for all that stuff right there. And yeah, that's all I got. So know what I think. That's all our segments. I think we know what time it is, guys.
Oh yeah,
Rapid five. Rapid five.
Rapid five. One of these days, we're gonna get like a strike against us.
Oh god, we're gonna get so sued.
Rapid five, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at the end of our show here on twitch.tv/Pop Network of Pop Aficionados. We're gonna go into rapid five, where I ask the other hosts rapid fire questions, culminating in the ever anticipated stop, keep, and snap out of existence question. So we'll see how this goes right here. Let's see. Starting off with question number one, I want to start with Will. No, hold on a second. Where's my questions? All right, going over to Will. Starting off with you. Were you? Question number one for Will. Were you a Saturday morning cartoon guy?
Yes, I was. Especially when the new Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Ohs were dropping on Saturday mornings. I was always glued to my TV for those. And DBZs. New DBZs were always in that block, too. So
nice. Jumping, just a quick mini asterisk on this question. How early would you get up?
I think I got up at like 6:30 for those.
6:30?
Yep.
It's funny because like Saturday morning, everyone was up crack of dawn.
Hell yeah.
For school days, no one wanted to get up.
No way. But
for cereal, like,
oh yeah, dude, hell
big
yeah, the Cinnamon Toast
cereal.
Crunch or the Reese's Puffs.
Ooh,
all right,
love it.
All right, Joel. Hey, it's another one of those recommend a new hot track for people to listen to.
Oh snap! All right, because I'm terrible with names until I see it, let me just quickly pull up my phone here. I have a new one for you guys. Look up, when you get a chance, the artist's name is Thought Beings, and there is a song called Echelon, and you are in for an 80s sounding treat.
All right, cool. Going back over to Will, it's the mundane superpower question for you, Will.
Ooh.
Would you rather have the power to have the ability to quick change outfits in the blink of an eye, right? Or the ability to never lose things?
Ooh.
So like when you're looking around, like,
to be clear, like, yeah, not losing my keys, like not misplacing
mundane things. So it's like, all right, let me get my keys. You turn around, they're right there. Where's that?
It's not memory.
Oh, it's right there. You know, it's just like you're just like always. You have the power to just like,
there they are.
Where are my keys? Oh, there they are. You know, it's kind of just like it always just luckily is there. You know,
that's super cool. But I think the quick change power is way cooler. Because I'm just imagining like roguing around and just being able to like instant disguise and then instant change again into someone else. Like, I would be the ultimate heist accomplice if I could just like bam, like I'm Rick Diggins, man. You know what I'm saying? I just like instant change.
I'm thinking of an even better scenario, which is you're just having a chat with somebody and they're talking to you, but each time they look away, they look back at you and you're in a different clothing. It's just like, what the hell is going on here? Stop it! Stop using your power.
I would use the hell out of that power.
Even though it's a really bad movie, Kung Pao is a really bad movie. But my favorite scene is that when they cut together two different scenes with different outfits, and they make it look like he's just quick changing.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. All right, moving back over to Joel. It's another mundane superpower question for Joel. Would you rather have the power to always keep your drinks that you hold hot or cold? Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm talking about like hot coffee type level hot and ice cold drink. As long as you're holding on to it and it's a drink you're holding on to.
It's the desired temperature.
The desired temperature.
Like, can it be like lava hot or just like reasonable hot?
Reasonable desired temperature to drink.
Because if you can get up to like McDonald's coffee, that can be an attack. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, go ahead. I don't know why I'm lobbying for your mundane superpower, but like, there's something there. I'm just saying.
Or the tough choice for Joel.
Yeah.
Or unlimited mints.
Oh man, I just ate 2 freaking Andes candies here.
You just have the ability, just like, I want a mint. Boop.
You got me here because you know I love eating Mentos for some reason.
You love
Das Frisch
Tic Tacs, Andes, all of those.
Dude, yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm a weirdo like that.
Whatever mint you want.
All right.
I think if you take the mint power, your superhero name has to be like Mentos or something like that.
I'm the mint.
I am the ultimate Altoid.
The best place for Mentos to fight is in a Coke factory.
Oh man, and you're like your sidekick could be Tic Tac.
Yeah.
Tic Tac.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I think I would go with mint. I'm going to go with mint.
I like the
superpower. Yeah, I like the fact that I could have a mint whenever I want, even though I'd probably get sick of it within like a day or two. I love me some mints, so hell yeah, dude.
All right.
I do believe...
you know where to go.
I do believe your super suit would be like a couple bandoliers of Coca-Cola, too. You just bam, shoot him out. Throw a bomb.
Do the bottle thing on the ground. Boom, and it always hit me right in the nuts.
I love it.
I'd support that superhero.
I love it. All right. One of the soda companies might support you too. Sponsored by. All right. Going back over to Will. Will.
Yes.
If any of us, but if you were lucky enough for a restaurant to name a pizza after you, you got the Will Special. What's on that pizza?
Spicy Italian sausage and fresh minced garlic.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yummy. Okay. All right.
And maybe like, I don't know, jalapenos or banana peppers or something. I don't know. Get a little spicy.
A little. It's got a jam packed with flavor.
Hell yeah.
All right. Joel.
Yes, sir.
Hey, if you had that classic movie scene where you were in an airplane and the plane was going down and you were going to be stranded somewhere, where do you think? What kind of environment do you think you would survive the best in?
Any? No, I'm just kidding. That's a bold statement because it might be cold.
Jungle, ocean,
desert.
island, desert, ice,
I'm gonna
mountain.
go with either like Pacific Northwest or island. And if I had to choose between those two, I think there's no better place than to get stuck on a freaking desert island. That's got to be so much fun.
Right.
Fun, right?
Yeah, lots of fun.
It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
All right. Moving back over here. All right. Will, it's a sandwich question.
Oh boy, I know about those.
Will is a sandwich aficionado here. And today, I have a very special sandwich question for Will, because today's sandwich question was submitted by Amanda Washkun. And I have a picture.
Yes.
I have a picture here of something, and you need to tell me if this is a sandwich. I'm going to try and see if it focuses in or not. Let me see. Hold on. Let me turn on the brightness.
Yeah, it almost did.
You were close.
So there's a tomato
yes.
layered with basil, I think, and cheese in there.
That is
mozzarella.
That is tomato, basil, and mozzarella. That is basically a caprese, but it is a sandwich. This is tough because it's not your meat, it's not your grains. But I mean, look at it. It's layered. You could totally pick that bad boy up and just eat it like a sandwich. It'd be messy, but you could do it. So yes, I am going to claim that is a sandwich. And great submission, Designer A-Wash. Keep them coming.
I love it. That was awesome. Yeah.
I like the fan-submitted challenges to my sandwich intellect.
Sandwich dumb.
I'll take it.
Good stuff. If you, listeners, watchers, viewers, if you have a sandwich question for Will, send it in to us at popsandwichnetwork@gmail.com, and we'll be sure to ask him whether or not it's a sandwich or not.
I know sandwiches, but feel free to try and put me in a pickle.
Oh. All right. Joel. Hey.
Yes, sir.
It is lightsaber or question for Joel. And the question it's been tough for a while, guys. Joel has been gripping tightly onto this Gundam suit that he has owned, a real-life Gundam suit, and we're trying to entice Joel away from that. Can he give it up? So, the question I have today for you, the enticement. I decided to outsource what the thing was. I decided to go to Amy Lancaster, who submitted something for you, and let's see if you can tell me what this is. So there's an anime called Laid Back Camp.
Yes.
And there's this cool scooter that's in there.
Oh.
And it's a cool little scooter, and I believe it's Rin's scooter.
Yes, it's Rin Shima's scooter from Yuru Camp, and it's decked out with all this camping gear. That is very tempting.
Would you give up your Gundam for it? And remember one thing: this was submitted by Amy.
Yeah, I know. I want to know. You know what? I'm going to give him a second to think about this. I want to know about this collusion that you're working out here, Jelani. Are you calling out to the ladies in our lives and trying to get them to betray our trust on these questions? Hit us in our weak spots.
Maybe.
I appreciate it.
Knew it.
He knows how to tempt us at our hearts. At our
How dare you?
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love it.
Went to the source.
I
offered him a moon base, damn it, and he wouldn't give it up. All right.
So can you get me with wholesome camping? Let me see.
Camping, an awesome scooter.
All right. You know what? I am gonna do something here, and stay with me. the Gundam is really cool, but do I want to be battling 24/7 or flying to the moon back and forth 24/7 or having to worry about parts and replacements for a big-ass Gundam? Or do I just want to go and camp somewhere leisurely next to some water and just hang out, maybe even look at Mount Fuji in the background? That's very tempting. But are you fucking kidding me? I'm keeping that goddamn Gundam.
Of course you are!
But, oh, no way.
I
am going to work on that Gundam till I die.
I'd like to say I wasn't fooled, but man, I was about to get very upset if you picked that over the Gundam.
There's so much salt on me right now.
Oh,
you did
man.
Well, you did well. And Amy, thank you so much. That was a great one. You had me actually pretty close. You hit the heartstring.
Oh, my lord. All right. Fine.
Nice try, Jelani.
I tried. All right. And the final question in Rapid 5, which is the keep, stop, or snap out of existence question. They're going to keep one of these things, stop one of these things from continuing, and completely wiping from existence one of these things. And today is the Chris question. From the MCU, Chris
Hemsworth, Pratt, and Evans.
And Evans.
Yep.
Ooh.
Who do you keep? Who do you stop? Who do you snap out of existence?
So are we talking about the person themselves or their career?
The actor and career of this person.
Okay, because it seems a little mean
Pratt?
actually snapping some of these guys out of existence again. Like, they've been there, man. They inspired this question.
The actor and their career and all the films and stuff they've done.
Oh,
Evans, Hemsworth, or Pratt?
All right.
Go
I usually rock it out ahead so that no one else
All
can
right.
beat me to the answer. So I'll do that again. That is my strategy. I'm going to keep Chris Pratt.
Okay.
Because there's always a chance that Parks and Rec gets a spin-off or reunites, and that's big. That's a big deal. I am going to stop Chris Evans because what happens if Marvel casts him as a third superhero? I just can't take that. My heart can't take that. Plus, to be fair, he's kind of been written out of the MCU anyway. And that means I'm snapping Thor out of existence. I don't know a whole lot else that Hemsworth has done outside of the MCU. And also, I've never been a huge Thor fan, though I will say, man, does he nail that part. I didn't like Thor until I saw him in the MCU. So, I hate to say it, Hemsworth, you gotta go. But that's my final answer.
Interesting. Joel.
All right. So I am going to say keep is Pratt, and the reason is because anybody that does a Jurassic Park movie is good in my book. I think he's got room for development still, and out of all of them, I don't know much about the others personally, but I have heard about Chris Pratt being a pretty cool guy outside of the acting world, so that's kind of cool. And then I will say for stop, I'm going to stop Evans because I think he is a talented individual. And seeing him outside of his roles in the MCU, in such as Knives Out, was actually pretty refreshing, as I think Jelani and I have stated about that movie over and over and over. And I think part of that was because of him. He played something that was different, an asshole. So that's really cool, and he's pretty versatile. And then I think I would snap Hemsworth out of existence, and I'm reluctant to do that outside of the Thor world, only because of one other film that I actually really liked, which is called Black Hat. And I really enjoyed that one, and I think he did not get credit for that one where credit is due. So go check that one out, see if you think I'm wrong on that one. But otherwise, sorry, Thor, you're just a pretty boy.
All right. I think we're all lining up here. I'm going to keep Pratt because Pratt is. I think he's got a lot more he can do. I think he's got way more potential going forward. Evans. I think I'm going to stop Evans because one, I love Captain America. I can't imagine it not being Evans, and I think he played that perfectly.
That's America's ass. Yeah,
that's America's ass right there. And as much as I hate snapping Thor out of it, I think Thor didn't really click with me until Thor
Ragnarok.
Yeah, Ragnarok.
Yeah,
third one, yeah.
when Taika Waititi got a hold of him.
Yeah. And now I'm wondering whether or not like there's potential there moving forward, but I don't know if it's gonna stay or not. But I think that, man, it's hard because I would love to keep it, but if out of the three, I think I would snap Hemsworth, even though I would still want to keep it. But you know what? I think that's where it's gonna be. So good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
And
We
that
have
was
consensus.
Rapid 5. Yeah, that doesn't happen every day.
Oh, I like it. So
All
well done
right.
on the rapid 5 questions today, Joel. I mean, that was
Yes,
awesome. Man.
indeed.
Yeah. All right. This brings us to the end of another great Thursday Power Pop block here on twitch.tv/PopSiren Network. We appreciate you guys supporting us and watching us. Make sure to keep it locked to All Things Pop Samurai on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Pop Samurai Network, Twitter at Pop Samurai Cast.
Tell your
And
friends.
if you guys got any questions or things like that you want to send it to popsamurainetwork@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website, popsamurainetwork.com, for all information about our shows and hosts and things like that. So it was good. This is a fun Thursday show. I love doing with my fellas here. Look forward to it. It brings the fun into my week every week, and I love it so much.
Warm.
So, yes. This has been your host, Jaboy Jelani Hoon, along with Will Milwaukee Washkun, Joel, Critical Joe Paprocki, and Joel, send us out with a thought.
The thought of the week is I didn't know I was going to be ready for the thought of the week. Let's say
Don't put spoons near babies.
No, you were supposed to come up with that one, the weird question. But I will just say the weird thought of this week is look up the dual reality of light, particle and wave, and see if you can try to understand that one. And put it in the comments next show, because I would love to hear people's thought on that. So take a look at that. And am I showing that I'm a physicist? Sorry.
Oh boy.
This
show just got too nerdy.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact.
Goodbye.
All right. See you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Will our heroes podcast survive? Spread the word, subscribe, and tune in next time. Same Pop Samurai time, same Pop Samurai channel.